What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Help with Natalie Cuomo. I'm here with Shane Torres.
Hello.
How are you?
Is this my camera right here?
That's your camera.
Okay. Hi.
How's it going?
Not so bad. Not so bad.
Yeah?
Sorry I was late.
Oh my God, you're totally fine.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just moseying along here.
Yeah, it's a little rainy day kind of action.
Yeah.
The energy in the city's a little dreary.
I actually had the weirdest walk over here because I always park like right next to the tunnel entrance. So, because the traffic is crazy, I saw a girl getting handcuffed and brought into a police station. I like made eye contact with her as the tears were rushing down her face. I was like, and then I saw like another guy go on the stretcher. I was like, this is too much for this morning.
Oh, that's a pretty good start. Yeah.
It was like a lot for a few blocks.
Yeah, it's very Gotham-y today.
Yes.
Yeah. With the dreary rain and everything. Yeah.
How was your morning?
It was good. I got up. I worked out. I was pretty productive to start my day, so I felt good. I worked out,
nice.
dropped off all my laundry, made breakfast, sent a bunch of emails, got a
Wow.
booking done.
That's amazing. Okay, I watched your new special came out, The
Thank-
Blue-Eyed Mexican.
Yes, yeah.
I watched it in entirety.
That's a rarity. I feel like.
No, it's not.
No, I mean for comedians to watch specials in
For
general.
comedians, I mean,
in their
shouldn't
entirety.
be.
No, it should not be.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
there
I
are a lot-
feel you
I
should
thank
be.
you for watching. Is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, of course. I feel like you should be seeing like what other people are up to.
Yes, I have a friend who he and we watch one special a week together.
Really?
Yeah, like maybe not together, but we'll be like, this is the one we're watching this week. Let's talk about it and see if there's anything we like.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's good, healthy mindset because like sometimes I can be very critical of other people's comedy, and then like and then somebody will be like, I like this, and I'll be like, you know what, that was good. Like
Right,
sometimes the
right.
perspective and it helps me like comedy more again, which is good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely inspires me. I do feel like. Do you feel like the specials you watch usually you'll watch ones that are like YouTube, Netflix, or you don't care?
I mean, like Bargassi's one of the funniest guys in the world, and he's been on Amazon and Netflix, and I feel like less people see stuff on Amazon, even though
I
the
agree.
quality can be very good. So.
I don't feel like people are as attached to Amazon or Peacock as some of the other.
I don't think so either, but I think a part of that's like just your affiliate. Amazon hasn't had a comedy show yet that I think makes everyone be like, we love this. Like we have to have Amazon to watch this show yet. Maybe
Yeah.
they have, and I'm just missing it, but I don't know what it would be.
Amazon's probably like my most embarrassing place. Like I have bought.
There's what I do watch on Amazon is like real dad stuff.
What do you watch?
Well, like I'll just like I don't like to think about things when I'm watching them a lot of the time. So
Yeah.
Amazon, I'll be like, it's time to put on Jack Reacher or like
Yeah.
some shit. I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna see this giant Neanderthal beat the shit out of people for an hour. Great, and then I can send emails and I don't have to like I can't watch like White Lotus or something like that and do a bunch of other things.
Right. It's like a little.
I don't
bit
need
of,
a ton. Yeah, it's like SVU background noise.
Totally. Yeah. I got like Master Chef, RuPaul's Drag Race. Those are my Amazon.
RuPaul's Drag Race is like the only reality TV show I've ever
It's amazing.
avidly watched. It's really fun. Yeah.
I love it. The one celebrity that I would love to meet, RuPaul.
Oh, really?
I mean, obviously there are a ton I'd love
but
to
like
meet.
that's your one that you were like, this is the top of my list.
Top of my list.
Yeah, from that show for
RuPaul.
me, it's Latrice Royale.
Oh yeah,
She was my
She's
favorite.
pretty cool.
She's great. I just thought I liked her big dumb laugh.
She's fun.
Yeah.
So okay, tell me about your special because I mean,
Did you just see all this water splash on me?
I didn't see. I did
I
not.
pulled it off my mouth and just like guys hurt.
I think one thing that I love so much how much of your personality comes through in like your joke telling and your silliness, and I think that your jokes have such a specific like. I think your wordplay is very fun. It's very like
Thank you.
Shane. It's
You're
very
very Shane.
it's very you. Like
I am my own self. That might be the issue.
no, I
Yeah.
think it's awesome. Like there's such like specific imagery that you have. Like when you compare toes and shrimp, I'm like
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that are just like fun and you that I
Yeah.
can tell there's definitely probably a point in your career where you're like, oh, I'm me on stage now.
I mean, I
right?
think,
Or maybe you're always you,
Well, like,
but you're comfortable being yourself.
well, I don't know if I'm comfortable being myself, but I am who I'm.
You
gonna
are
be who
yourself.
Yes. I think that's true for the most part. I think but I think I have a point in my comedy where like people are like, oh, that's like what he does a little bit. I think you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm completely like if the voice is like where I would like to see it be in the sense of like skill and ability. I think I have tone. I think I can set a room when I'm on the stage and like I'll be like, this is what I'm doing. Come with it. Like I think I can do that to like a fairly efficient degree. But like as far as my writing and my performing goes, I always think it can be like I don't think it's bad. I'm not like negging myself. I think it's good, but I think I can. I haven't yet really reached what I would call the me of performing yet. Like I think
Really?
I have at least a few more levels to like upgrade. Like I think this one is probably the best work I've done. I think it is the best work I've done, but I think the next one will be like quantum leap better. I already feel like
Well, we always strive for that.
yeah, but I think we do. Yes. Well, I don't think we always I don't think we always do. But I do find that like already I am better than I was on this last special. Like I know how to do it better and better. Like and I think that's like repetition and discipline and stuff, but I think first of all, thank you for noticing that. But secondly, I think it's not quite there yet.
Really?
Like, yeah. Which is fine. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a negative thing. It's just like
Yeah.
you should be rolling over and turning over. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, you've been doing stand-up for a long time, and this is your first full hour special.
Well, I did a half hour with Comedy Central.
Okay.
And then I did an album with them that was about, like, I think clocked in around 65 minutes or something like that. So,
Okay.
So I've done, and then I was supposed to do a couple other hour specials, but things got in the way, like COVID. And
is that what you
cancel it in that Netflix story that was
so yeah, you tell a story in your special where essentially it's the beginning of the pandemic. You put all your stuff in storage.
it's pre-pandemic.
Pre-pandemic.
It's pre-lockdown. Like,
yes.
COVID was out there, but it was pre-lockdown. Netflix had a show, and the way I tell it on the special is a touch different than what I'm going to explain. Netflix had a show where they were going to do like a bunch of comics, essentially doing like The Voice or Last Comic Stand, like this, and you were going to be coached by like these veteran comedians and that kind of thing, and which was great, like. And then I was like, and if you won, you got an hour-long special, and like you get to be in the Netflix family. That's a big deal, obviously. Yeah. I thought there were like a lot of good comics on it, but I felt myself I had a good shot to like place and do well in it, and maybe, and then. We shot like 1 week, I think, and then everything went to shit with COVID. And then they were like, "It's coming back, it's coming," and then it didn't come back for like it never came back. But they like the producers were telling us it was coming back for like a year, like some and so I was sitting on material and not putting stuff out because this was the clip culture of comedy has have been around for a few years, really,
right.
But people were seeing people blow up so exponentially so fast that we think it's the only way to do it now.
Yeah.
So like there's stuff from 2 years ago, this year, and 5 years ago that I never got to put anywhere.
Right.
So it's so that's why I feel like, back to your point earlier, like my material is good, but I'm already way better than this one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought your material was great, but I think it's good that you're hard on yourself.
Yeah. It's not easy I'm not easy on anyone, even myself, especially myself.
Can you tell me about the title, Blue-Eyed Mexican?
Yeah. Well, I'm Mexican and I have blue eyes.
Well, yeah, I suppose I
you knew that. I guess.
Yeah.
But because there's no reference to it in the special at all.
Yeah. Like when you're like, I'm gonna end with this, I was like, it's gonna be about being a blue-eyed Mexican.
No. So Bert Kreischer produced it.
Right.
And really his wife Leanne did so much of the work. She's a producer. And we were trying to think of like titles and I'm a bit of like an art fart queef. Like, I came up in like alt comedy in Portland, and also like I have like a background in hanging around in punk rock and these kind of like art spaces. So like I was gonna name it something really
like
fucking
what
lame.
were you gonna name it?
I'll never share.
You won't share?
No,
something crazy.
Not like diarrhea plate or anything, but like I was feeling really like melancholy over some stuff when we were like making it, and I was like, so some of the titles are fairly serious feeling, and I was like, and I'd like them, and maybe I'll use them someday, but then I was like, none of these like stand out. Like nothing I could think of was like so poetic that I thought it would stick out in your mind. Like you haven't seen Shane Torres's like The Wind is Calling or whatever bullshit name I was trying to think of. And then Bert was trying to help me think of names because we were on the road on his bus, and he was like, we were going with some names from like some jokes from the special, and he was like, what about like something like from the special, like piss 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 or something like that. And I was like, I don't want to call it that. And then he was like, and then he came up with, he said like something about Blue Eyed Mexican, and I was like, we were talking about, it's like, it's very Googleable. Like the phrase itself, I think is easy to find.
Right.
And that was like really kind of some of the leaning on it, because like I'm pretty underexposed in comedy comparatively to other comics, like in the way of like the amount of content I put out is less, and I think maybe in some ways more selective than what a lot of people put out. So I was like, I need people to be able to find this easily. So like I thought that phrase would be something that would stick in people's head, because it almost sounds like a slur or something, and people always remember awful shit. So
yeah. It almost feels like, am I supposed to say this?
Yeah, it's very much so. Like, it's like, get out of here, you fucking blue-eyed Mexican.
Yeah.
So that was really why the title of the special came up. Yeah, that way. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I was trying to think creatively and business savvy, which is something I don't do very well. So,
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I was so curious, like, about your upbringing while I was listening to your special.
Okay. What did you like? What questions popped into your head?
I don't know. I was just like, I don't know. You kind of danced over like your brothers being like an amateur boxer and a drug addict.
Oh no! Well, they're a drug dealer.
Drug dealer, not an addict, just a dealer.
Yeah, we were all. Well, they're like, my brothers are like very different than me. Like they're little, like I would just say rougher around the edges than me.
Yeah.
Not like they're not criminals. I mean, I guess technically they were and have been. But but so have I guess. So like I, like I think I have a pretty sweet enough demeanor around people.
Yeah.
But, and, like I might be like, why are you talking to me like that? Whereas my brothers will just be like, I'm going to hit you now. Like, so like they just go off. They're a little just rougher around the edges.
Right.
And like, and like there's people in comedy that we all know that are like that. Like they're just a little, like my older brother was like competitive with like everything mixed martial arts. They always just like, they don't mind getting into fight. Like, they never have. And they did other shit, like I say in the special, like.
Yeah.
Sold things and have done things, and and of various enterprises that they've taken on. I'm trying not to sell them out because I don't know.
So, like, what made you like the comedian out of your brothers?
I was the middle child, and like I think part of it they're just, I guess my nature is that way a little bit, but I think some of it is, I don't know why, but they looked like my dad more so, and I look more like my mom. And I think I kind of like, and they look like each other a bit more, so they kind of took to each other maybe a little more. And then like we're all very close in age. We're like at most 2 years apart between top to bottom. So from my older brother to my younger brother, we're like, I think my mom was just pregnant for like 3 years.
It's like no condoms. For
yeah,
she's
just awful. I can't imagine. She was just sore for 3
She's just like, oh, again.
Yeah, and we're all gigantic. So I think that. I'm just poor woman. I think about her. But so I think that's part of it. Like I think I'm just a little and I'm the middle child. I took to like artsy fartsy shit a little bit more than them, I think, just for whatever reason.
What is it about being a middle child that like you feel like the middle child needs more attention?
I think that's probably like, I think that's a cliche, and maybe maybe I did, because like and the cliche is that the oldest is the first and the baby is the baby. Yeah. And the middle is like kind of left to their own devices.
Right.
Like, and I was like, I don't think I was like as cute as them or anything. I think they were like really cute kids, and I was like kind of like a fat-headed Irish baby. So I think they were like, well, we'll pick him up last.
Oh my God.
That's how I feel. I could be completely wrong. Maybe that took to some of it. But yeah.
But you grew up in Texas? Where in Texas are you
from?
from?
Fort Worth, South Side of Fort Worth. So like, but my mom was so if you don't know, have you been there? Are you familiar?
I've been there, yeah. I remember I was at like a store, like the cowboy hat store. And you like were like, I've been to that store a million times.
Hat store.
It was a cowboy hat store.
There's so many.
No, it was, oh God. You messaged me and you're like, I've been there a million times.
Oh.
It was like 2019.
Like Cavender's or something, maybe. I know.
It was closed, actually. It didn't exist anymore or something. It was
Oh.
closed.
Well,
Eh,
yeah. But I also, yeah.
It was in Fort Worth.
It wasn't Fort Worth?
It was in Fort Worth.
It was in Fort Worth. I wonder what spot it was. Fucking hard to imagine that a cowboy hat store would go out of.
Maybe it wasn't. I mean, I couldn't get a hat there. I'll tell you that much.
Did you want a cowboy? You know they're like very expensive.
I did want one.
Why would you want one?
I don't know. I was like really feeling connected to Texas at the time.
Yeah.
I went to Texas over the pandemic so many times.
Because it was open.
Yes. Yeah, it was kind of like normal there.
Mm. There was some sanity. Like, there was a way for people to feel like, normally I say it, like, you feel like they weren't going stir crazy or insane. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, Buc-ee's I enjoyed.
Buc-ee's is not bad.
Yeah.
Buc-ee's is, it's no, you should go to Slovacek's the next time you're in.
What is that?
It's a truck stop that has, do you know where Kolache is?
No.
Okay.
I just feel like you're going to enlighten me right now.
So it's like, I think it's like it's a bit north of Austin off I-35. There's a place called Czech Stop and there's a place called Slovacek's, and they both make kolaches, and they're big truck stops.
Okay.
And kolaches are like these, I think they're like Ukrainian pastries or maybe.
Oh,
Swedish.
yes, the triangles.
No.
Oh.
How dare you? Some of them, they make them sweet and they make them savory.
They have them at Buc-ee's.
Maybe.
Okay.
But
yeah,
like,
I'll let you go.
But they're like, they look kind of like, some of the sweet ones will look like a dinner roll, and they'll be filled with like jam or some kind of like preserve that's very sweet and airy pastry.
Okay.
And then some of the savory ones will be like, have like a big sausage in it. They're like a giant pig in a blanket with like really good
That sounds nice.
It's fucking rad.
Wow.
And Slovacek's is like the best place for them, and maybe in the world.
Hmm.
Yeah. So next time you're there, if you're in Austin, you should go like venture an hour north and go.
I
Yeah,
will.
it's a good little road trip if you're road tripping up. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. But
All right. What would you say is the best advice you've ever received?
I rethink that all the time. I guess one time my mother told me the easy road's only reward is that it's easy, and I don't know if that's true, but it's definitely kept me in some like it's made it help me make some good decisions, I think, as opposed to like short-sighted ones. So yeah, so I think that maybe that is one of that I really, really enjoyed. And then I heard the other day, we talked about that. We were at the stand together last night, right?
Yeah.
Pain is inevitable, but suffering is avoidable, or whatever, or something to that. I think that's like something I'm trying to like not make myself feel like everything I do is doomed. You know, like I think my natural setting when it pertains to myself is to kind of be like negative, so I don't have to be hopeful. You know, like, so I'm trying to like let go of that a bit.
So you don't like set yourself up for disappointment.
Yes. Yeah. But that's some of the best advice. I think that there's so much, but it's all pertains to things like one of the best pieces of advice I ever got in comedy was be nice to everyone but don't trust anyone.
I feel that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of my problem. I feel like I don't have any close comedian friends that I feel like I could really call or trust.
But
that's because I did at a point, and I felt kind of. I have friends in comedy.
Yeah, for sure.
But I definitely don't feel...
Like, we're new friends. Like, we're friends. We've known each other for a while, but I think we've become friendlier in the past 6 months or so.
Yeah.
But when you say you don't feel like you have a close friend...
Like, I feel like if I, like, say something terrible happened in my life and I was crying and I felt like I need to call someone, the person I called would not be any comic that I knew.
That kind of...
You know what I mean?
I mean, I know what you mean.
Like, it would be like, maybe like I have a couple like childhood friends maybe, but I don't feel that connection.
But are you close to them? Like, or do you just know them the longest? You know,
like yeah.
You know, like, I'm not, there's no judgment here.
No, yeah. I almost feel like if I called the comic, they'd hang up, they'd be like, you'll never believe who called me crying.
Yeah, I mean, there's a thing of like, how close are you to some people in comedy? Because you're like, we are colleagues.
Right.
But like if I texted you or messaged you about something, it would probably be work related and not personal. Like a lot of so like, or you would assume that at the very least.
There's certain people that I feel like I could I've reached out to that I feel like I do trust and really respect, but there is a line of like, I don't know how much to give myself because it is a work environment.
Yeah. Well, I think that's like, that's, you learn that as you go. And I also think, like, you build those things. You're still fairly new in comedy. Like, uh, I mean, what have you been doing it? 5 years, 6 years?
6 years,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, that's not. You've made like a lot of strides, but like you're still fairly new, and you're in this place now where you're like really getting better. This is like I would say like a part. This era of comedy for you will be like a part where you start to see a lot of growth in your ability
I hope,
because
yeah.
yeah, if you're doing the work, which it seems you are, but
Yeah.
I don't. And that's where you build friends too. Like it takes
Right.
fucking forever, and it's such an insular place, and like, uh, a lot of the people you hang out with in comedy clubs have been doing this for 20 years. Like so
Right.
why? And they're 20 or 30 years older than
Right.
like I'm never gonna be best friends with Rich Voss, like
Right.
or like that kind of shit. So it's like it's also who you're with and what I I've said this before, but I like this. Everybody says the key to comedy is timing, which is true, but it is like a lot of like who you surround yourself with is a part. Like if you're fortunate to come up with people who are at your level, at your time, like your level meaning like creatively, or like you're like coming up together. That's a
Yeah.
very valuable thing in comedy. You need
Yeah.
peers like to get better. Otherwise, you're like pretty isolated, and you have this kind of one way of doing. Like you can very much um revert to doing things the way you know how to do them. Whereas like my friends in comedy have like shed light on how I do it. Like they've
Yeah.
changed and shaped me. Like my peers are as responsible for my comedic voice as my heroes. I mean, like I'm the most responsible, but like,
Right. Right.
but I do think that's like a thing you should, do and find for yourself. Like I think it's a really, very important part of growing in comedy. Like I know you said you don't feel like you have that many friends, but like also like you can make them.
I mean, I feel like I
You're
have a
well
lot of
liked.
like, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So I don't see why you wouldn't. Like, you just have to like, and I know you got like a life and you live in Jersey and you're engaged, you have a lot of things going on. But like like friendships are as valuable as almost any relationship you can have. So you should try to cultivate them, especially if it's like in a field like this. And not for like gain, but like for just it's your community.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like that you need that.
Right.
You need to be close to people in your community. Like
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I have, like, at the stand, I definitely feel like that's a good community where I feel a lot of friendship and
Yeah.
at home. But I feel like that weird, like, how would I text someone like, hey, do you want to hang out outside? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, like you just go be like, I mean, you don't drink, right? Like
No,
you
I
don't
don't
do any of
drink,
that.
yeah.
Like, but like, do you guys want to go get food?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
like just if they don't, they don't. Someone will want to go get food with you, and that
Yeah.
will become your friend.
Exactly.
But that kind of shit is like, like fucking go to a diner, share jokes. What are they working
Right.
on? What are you working on? Like it
Yeah.
doesn't. I mean, friendship's about taking interest in people.
Exactly.
Like so, like if you like something about what somebody's doing, tell them and talk to them.
Yeah.
Like it might not be, the easiest way to open up with somebody is with a compliment most of the time. So,
That's true.
like that's what I think. And then, also like there's a healthy thing in like just coming up with the same time as people and trying to be better than them. Like raising your game to meet
Right.
somebody else's game.
I definitely feel that, like, yeah, I definitely feel that. I feel like my voice I feel like I'm the best I've ever been, for sure. I feel like I'm really coming into my own voice, which feels nice. I feel very proud of myself, but I also look at my special and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Oh,
even
that shit's
feel
like,
like I'm.
yeah, no,
it's like
that's-
2 years ago at this point, and I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
even feel like that's even
Well,
close.
it's like wild
to
to me
where I
that you
am.
put out a special 4 years in. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
But that was like a different. Like now everything comes out faster, but like that was a different time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not negatively, but it was like I just wouldn't have done. Like I look back at my Comedy Central half hour, and people liked it. Like it got a good response, and it had like things do very well from it. And then I look at it now, and I'm like, this is fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
Like yeah, like I was like, I can't believe people thought this showed promise. Like
Yeah.
but I think that's a good thing. Like to know. I mean, it's hard to watch, but it's good to know that you're like improving. You're like, I would have changed that. I never would have put that in here. This doesn't even fit next to one another. Like this
Yeah.
joke has so much left on it that I didn't even fucking touch. I have all of those kind of things all the time.
I mean, I do feel like the cool thing is that I have this to compare my growth to. Like that, I feel like is cool, and I can like really see the way my voice has evolved in the last few years, and
Yeah.
it's even just like the way I speak and the way I hold myself on stage, and just the way I'm constructing jokes or the things I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
it's definitely a lot dirtier 2 years ago, and now I'm
And
definitely
just dirty for the sake of dirty, and
just speak. Yeah, I guess.
I mean, it's fine if you see it. It's fine. Like like if
Yeah,
you change it, it's fine. It's like I say fuck almost as much as anybody ever.
yeah,
Like, but I don't. Like, it's not just be like and fuck. That's not like a punchline.
right.
Like I think any of it is fine as long as you know what you're doing. And it's hard to fucking watch yourself, man. So
It
like,
is. It is.
do you watch yourself a lot? Do you watch?
I do because I make all my own clips, so
God
I
damn it.
feel
Oh.
like I know. I feel like I have to get used. It's hard. I usually will make a clip right after a show though because I'll know the moment. I'll remember like the highlight moment. I'll be like, all right, I'm just gonna cut to that so I don't have to watch the full thing.
15, yeah.
But yeah, I do watch myself and listen to myself a significant amount. It
Yeah.
is
I'll listen. It's hard for me to watch myself because like I got a lot of like body image issues and stuff. So like
yeah.
like so I just look at it and I was like, was I even talking? Because all I could think about was how weird my hands looked. Yeah. So I have a hard time absorbing what I'm saying when I watch myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's important. I mean,
First, no, it's remarkably important. That's why I listen to myself.
right.
And that's why there I have to like cut up all these clips for the special, and I have a guy who's doing it, but I got to give him all the time signatures and blah blah. It is making me realize what I was doing wrong and what I was, even though I wasn't lazy, what I could have done better. And seeing like what my physicality in comedy is not. I'm not very big. I don't like move around a lot, But like I have a physical energy up there, I think, and it's very like, kind of like, like low toned, and then like I will kind of explode into a bigger joke, but like, and then I reset and come back to my touching the wall shit and all of that. Yeah.
No, I think that it's fine. I think your physicality is fine. I think you definitely have like a presence on stage. Like,
yeah, I mean that's what
you like walk on and it's like you say something and it kind of like hits immediately because of the presence that you have on stage.
you just have to like, yeah, I thank you, but it's like a little like, like I'm not like some people are so good at being like massive up there with their energy, like with like just like big and filling the room. And I'm like, how are you even doing it? Like when I do those big rooms with Bert, those like arenas or whatever, like I'm like, this stage is like 50 feet wide,
Yeah.
60 feet, like like you should walk across it. Like I'll tell myself that when I'm just like up there talking about whatever horse shit, like to like 12,000 people. I'll be like, hey, walk, hey, like over here, like. I have to do it like that. Otherwise, I'll just play the center of the room.
Right.
Yeah.
When did you first start working with Bert?
It's been 6-7 years probably.
Nice.
Yeah. Probably around there. Maybe a little longer. I don't quite. But like we've been friends for I guess about that long. Maybe a little longer.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, really. So because we just started working. I just got paired with him a couple of times when he wasn't bringing features yet, and then when I was still featuring in clubs, and then. We just kind of hit it off, kept going. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was it's been pretty great, honestly. But yeah, he it's very weird, like he's definitely like a mentor of mine in comedy. So like that's kind of and a friend obviously, but it's one of those things you're like, my friend is my mentor? Like you kind of like of course they are. Like I learn a lot from him and seeing how they operate and shit, but it's like yeah, I can't believe it's been that long already. Yeah.
That's cool. What do you think the biggest thing you like take away from like working with him, working in arenas? Like
You have to do shit yourself.
Yeah.
You have to do shit yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really hard worker. Like, and he gets like, and like do shit yourself might be like delegating or like doing it yourself, but fucking do it. Like people aren't gonna do shit that work for you or do things for you that unless you give them the instruction to.
Yeah.
So do shit yourself, even like be proactive. Like he is not, for all of the like, we party, we'll drink or whatever, but like that dude gets up in the morning, goes to work. Yeah, like it's wild actually, but like I mean, but I don't have a problem doing that either. But like and trying to think like one of the other things is he's very good at thinking like of working smarter, not harder. Like
Mm,
and like I am very like this is in front of me. This is what I'm attacking. This is what I am doing today. And he'll be like,
yeah.
well, how do we do this and make it like smoother and easier for the next time around?
How do
Yeah,
you I always am confused how to work smarter, not harder. Sometimes I feel like I'll waste time working too hard.
like
I'll just spend hours like editing
I
or
mean, I think that's part of smarter. Like really, like because you're trying to reach a larger audience. Like I mean, I do. How many sets do you do a week?
I don't know. You asked me that. I was trying to think of it. I mean, I feel like I get up every night, but I'm not always. I do one or two a night.
Yeah, I mean, I probably do like 15 to 20 a week. You
Okay.
know, like so around the same, maybe a little more. Like sometimes I do like, but I don't put time into. I pay someone to like edit and
Right.
do clips and like that kind of stuff. I think is smart on your end because like you're watching yourself more and you're doing a couple of things. You know, like
Yeah, but I'm also like, what if I wasn't taking that time to edit my stand-up clips? I could be writing. I could
perform a
be.
little more or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I
But
don't
you
know.
like, I mean, but like it's paying dividends. Like you have a following, you know, like you're, you
I
know,
feel like if I were to ask someone else to do it, they wouldn't do it right. I'm a crazy control freak.
yeah. Dan was saying that.
Was he?
No,
Because he would.
that's okay though. You have to. That's a smarter, not harder way to work though. You could grow a little, like being like, okay, maybe I need to teach someone how I need this done. Like hiring someone to do these clips might not be the worst thing in the world
It's
if you want to
expensive
make.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I don't want to. Yeah.
You don't want to pay for it, but like,
Like
I
I
mean,
know I
you're
could do
what
it in
28, 26.
29.
Yeah. There comes a point where like you can just pay someone to do it and realize like that money being spent and the peace of mind you'll get from your time and is like going to be worth it to some degree.
Yes.
It's not
Yeah.
like super quantifiable and like a dollars versus time sense, but in a peace of mind
Right.
sense, like because I've talked about this before, but like the cheapest thing is not always the best thing after a while. Like and like you know you have a following and like you can write all that. That's all shit you can write off on your taxes. So like I don't know why you wouldn't teach someone to do it the way you like to do it.
Because I feel like it's not teachable. Like I feel like it's like
Fucking. I mean, you could still watch the clips and give them timestamps and be like, "This is how I like the ed. This is where I like my graphics, or this is like what kind of font I like." Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, all that shit is
It just
pretty
take
teach.
me so much easier to just like do it. But it's I
Yeah,
gotta
but also
stop.
like
Yeah.
after a while, it won't if
Yeah.
you find the right person.
That's true.
You know, like you just have to invest. That's the smarter, not harder thing, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Finding the
It's easy for
person.
me to say this to you, and
Yeah.
much harder for me to do for myself.
I feel like I mean definitely like journaling has helped me so much with
Good.
my writing. I think my stand up completely changed when I started started the artist way
Oh, I read that.
and
Yeah.
I started doing the morning pages. I feel like it was maybe like 6 months ago. And then just like writing the 3 pages every morning, I feel like got my brain working in a different way. And
It's
like,
there's like a discipline to it that
Yeah.
is very important. Like
Yeah.
I kind of been writing on stage a lot lately, which I don't know if is very good for me right now.
really?
It's not bad, but I don't want to lean on it too much. I still need to be in my book and like
Mm.
at least free writing, like because I need to be like you need to spend an hour today, like just it doesn't matter if you don't write jokes, but like get this kind of creative thing because I'm coming up with these premises and ideas, but not really writing them out, and I
Yeah.
like and right that feels very not lazy, but like unfinished, which they are when I bring them on stage and I'm trying to like find it in the space, you know, like.
Yeah.
Whereas if I take a whole joke and I write it out, and I'm like, this is a punchline, this is a punchline. This punchline can be much better, and you don't need this here. Like
Mm.
I need to do stuff like that a little bit to chop it up and clean it, and
Right.
yeah.
Do you feel like there are certain topics that you're like, I know that I want to write a joke about this specific topic? Like,
I know there are jokes I don't want to write stuff about. Like I try. I do not mind like jokes about sex, but I think a lot of people are doing it more than. I mean, it's always clearly been a huge thing in comedy for people to
Right.
talk about fucking, but there's so much of it now, and so much of it is really fucking bad. Like, and just like and she fucked me, or my pussy, or what, or my
Well, it's like
dick.
the
You know,
easiest tag to
there's
throw in the end.
there's nothing being done. It's
Yeah.
like, and sometimes it's a story that can be funny, but is not like punchlines or joke. You know, like, so I don't like that. Like, I don't
Same,
like
yeah.
creatively for me. You know, and I have that sexting joke in the special and stuff, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's a bit different than just. I mean, I think there's jokes in it, like, and I think so much sex makes everyone giggle just as
Yeah.
a subject and an introduction. So I think it can kind of like it can make something seem as a subject not as funny, or funnier than it actually is.
Yeah.
Rather. Yeah.
I feel
To
like you
me.
want to like articulate something
You want to make
new.
something, yes, all
Right.
the time. Like the whole goal for me always, and I think I've done this sometimes in my career, is to write jokes that nobody else could tell. Like that's
Yes,
all
yeah,
I ever
yeah.
want to do
Yeah.
as a creative like comic. And sometimes I do that, and sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
Like, but I am trying to do that most of the time. Like, like, and a lot of it for me is like stories with punchlines in them and stuff.
Mhm.
And that's like people could probably try and tell my stories.
But that's
They wouldn't do it the same or as well. But the jokes I write within those stories are the ones like I think are what like creatively make me like a different comic in a lot of ways. So like as opposed to the experience of the story, like story's a story. Like
Right.
that story could have happened to anyone. Like it's mine, so it happened to me. But then also the jokes the way I choose to tell the story is what makes me creative, as opposed to like somebody who's just recanting something.
Yeah.
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 What's your opinion on people like embellishing stories?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Like you need to like, it needs to have happened
Right.
in some form. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you should be up there telling me how you were an astronaut or some shit
Right.
when you weren't
Right.
an astronaut.
It's like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, but like, like some, and I think truly so like good comics, we all embellish a bit. That's one thing. Some people tell fucking straight up lies up there.
It is weird, and you're like, wait, why?
I was like, and I also like, and they also the same kind of person who tells a hacky premise or hacky joke or a joke that's been told 1,000 times, and they act like they're telling you something you've never heard
I
before.
just don't know why people do that, because it's like, for me, obviously I want to make people laugh, but I also feel like this deep need to like tell my truth. Like I feel this, if I could do everything I wanted, like I would find a way to like talk about my childhood or my mental illness and make it very funny. And
well,
like
you will.
And I feel like I'm getting there, but I
that's
feel
what
like
that's what this like
yeah.
time of comedy is like.
But
for
why
you.
would, I don't understand people that wouldn't want to talk about
They don't, 'cause
anything
they don't
real
like,
to them at all.
They don't. I don't know. I mean, it depends on each person. Obviously,
yeah. Some people aren't personal and they're purely observational.
but they think they're being personal.
Right.
Like, and sometimes people like Joe Pera is very observational in the way he
Right.
does things, but it is remarkably personal the way he does it. Like
Yeah.
he is a personality and a soul of comedy that like is his thing.
It's his own perspective on it.
Yes, and Gary Goldman is both.
Yes.
Yeah. Gary's like Gary is incredibly observational.
Very funny that I don't even know.
But he
how
relates it into himself.
Yeah.
Like, did you watch his new special?
I haven't, but
It's very good. But like,
Yeah.
he talks about being poor, but there's like a lot of observations about his growing up in poverty, and they're jokes that like he says I'm not spoiling anything with this, but he talks about like Pop-Tarts. He goes and how they're for poor kids. He
he's
goes,
so good with the food jokes.
yeah, and they're great. But he goes, the pop in Pop-Tart stands for populous. So which is like I was fucking howling, but that's a joke anyone could tell standalone.
Right.
But he has this remarkable touch to him with it that I think is that's what makes like you can be observational and personal,
Yeah.
but that's like I guess that's all art, like anything you listen to, you can kind of like if you listen to music, you're like, this sounds like you kind of know when someone sounds like what they're doing, like they sound original, like you
Right.
do. Like I think it was like Penn or Teller said something about like when you hear Coltrane, it's Coltrane. Like you just kind of know and I think that all forms of art are that way. And then there's people who try to do the people they're inspired by,
Yeah.
which is flattering, and sometimes great, and sometimes not. But,
Right.
yeah.
Do you feel like
I feel like an NPR host the way I'm like moving my
no,
hand.
I like it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you what was my question? I had a question, it was good. It was I gotta channel my NPR host.
I'm gonna do like this.
Yes. Okay, I feel like sometimes I suffer from extreme like ups and downs of feeling like really, really hard on myself about comedy in a way that feels super catastrophic. And then like sometimes I'll feel pretty good. Do you feel like you experience those things even just from like the endorphins of performing and
I'm always pretty hard on myself.
and how do you cope with it?
I work more. Like I don't know if that's good, but that's what I do. I think it's good for me. Maybe not good for everyone.
Do you have any like joys outside of working?
I like boxing. I like to box.
Yeah.
I'm not drinking right now, but that's usually really fun.
Yeah.
I go see bands. I have a few things, but
Yeah.
they are all things that can be done with another person or completely solo. I didn't notice that till now. I'm not. I have friends and obviously that I'm close to, but I don't. I like alone a lot of the time. Like I don't like. I want to like have like. You mind so much of your life for comedy and stuff. You give people so much. Personally, so I don't mind being alone doing things by myself. Like because I give the. Like
Of course. Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to probably 250 people tonight combined between all of my sets and give them all something about myself. And at the end of that, I'll probably be tired of people or or want to blow off steam with somebody I know. Like
I feel like doing things alone is actually like a big form of self-love. Like that's what the artist way talks about a lot is like these artist dates, which was the hardest part for me in doing that book. Like I can't get myself to like take myself to a museum or like a concert by myself and think like I'm just like, oh, if I'm by myself, I'll just be home.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'm not good at sitting around, so like I will try and do stuff. Like I'll always look on bands in town or whatever, or like some
That's
like
fun.
yeah, or maybe museum. Or I'm really trying to do like more new shit this year. Like to me,
what would be new for you?
I want to go to a ballet. I never.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh
like,
my god.
I think I would really
fun.
like enjoy that on a lot of different levels. And even if I don't, I'm doing it. Like
I have the most fun memory of like my grandma. We went to a ballet,
Really?
and she immediately like fell asleep with her mouth wide open.
Cute.
But it was really cute. It was really funny, and I was like, Grandma, like you're such a. But it was fun. The ballet's fun.
Yeah.
Way more fun than the opera.
I mean, I think the opera is like pretty great too, honestly. Like I like it's it's stuffier, like
it
I'm
is
sure
stuffier. It is stuffier.
I mean,
the ballet, I love
ballet is very athletic
when people
and
are
like
expressive that way. It feels
it's like,
so inspiring.
I like watching. I've said this before to maybe, and I don't like. Sometimes I worry about repeating myself on things in podcasts, so I'm just like prefacing this. But I really do believe, like, even though we were talking about like sometimes I want to watch dumb shit and not have to.
Mm-hmm.
What we take in as creative people is the fuel for our creativeness. So it's like if an athlete's fuel is food, which is technically it's all of us, like, and they have this like pristine diet to perform at their best. I do think absorbing things that are like very creative and not just SVU,
right,
will help us. Like I believe that. Like I like whether it be music or art or museum, whatever. Like I think I truly believe that, and because it helps me think in a grander scale. Like if I'm absorbing things, not just in comedy but music. Like I'm trying to like be a little more open to experiencing things. And I did this last year was one of the years a year I was really trying to be mindful of trying to see other things, and I'm growing into it, I think. But I think that like it helps if you're smart and you use it right. There's ways to like, because I listen to music quite a bit. Like I'm sure everyone does, but like I'm like, oh, that lyric was fun. Like how could I write the same expression of it? And I just saw this movie, The Holdovers. It was like an Alexander Payne movie, and there was this line in it that was just like great. And he's like, for most people, life is like a henhouse letter, short and covered in shit. And I was just like, oh, instead of just being like, for most people, life is shitty. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like
It was beautifully
you like things need to stand
crafted.
out. Yes,
Yeah.
you should, and that's what like. I'm like, obviously, I'm not gonna say that line and use it like
Right.
in my act or anything, but like, I'm like, that's a very creative way to express how
Yeah.
awful life can be.
I
Like,
agree.
so try to do more of that. Like, and that fills me. So like now when I'm gonna talk about like whatever I'm upset about, maybe it won't be like, and it fucking sucked. Like yeah.
Exactly.
And I think that's what like I mean, outside of making you feel something, that's like if you're a creative person, that's something you take from art.
So do you really see yourself like being a single person in life, or you see yourself like having a partner? Sorry, that's like a crazy question.
No,
You
no.
talk about it in your act a lot though.
I talk about a fair amount. I think
Because like I feel like you really reference things that I could imagine you like writing love letters to someone, being like, "And this was once said in this book," and then they're like, "Oh wow, you're so romantic."
You think I'm that person?
Yes, you like really are very artsy and like you're very like thoughtful and introspective.
I try to be, but I think it's like a hard fucking person
And
to
I
live
feel
with.
like you kind of have this like hard like exterior, like I don't want to set myself up for disappointment. So I'm
Oh,
not
for
gonna...
sure, yeah. No, that's my whole thing.
Yeah, but I feel like deep
I
down,
I want someone, but I want to be with someone I want to be with. I'm not just
Right.
trying to be with someone. Like
well,
that
that's how it
shit.
should be.
Yeah, but that's not how it is a lot. I mean, like a lot of the
Yeah.
time, like we both had relationships that have failed that we thought were very, very strong or good,
Yeah.
and whatever. Like,
Right.
but I had my heart broken a couple of times,
Yeah.
and I've broken people's hearts. And I'll do it again. I don't want to. I'm like, I want to be
And
done.
I'll do it again.
Fucking slut. No. And I don't want it to. I don't want to do that. But when I say I'll do it again, I'm sure like
Yeah.
that's not my intention, obviously, and I hope it doesn't happen again
Right.
in a final way. Like, I mean, I've had my heart broken by people, and then, still stayed with them and been in love with them.
Right,
Like
yeah.
that happens. I mean, I want someone, but I want it to be the right person, and like,
Yeah.
and like, like I kind of say this a lot. Like comedy is like the love of my life. That
Yeah.
is like, it doesn't hold me like or anything like that, but it makes me most of the time very, very happy. Like even if my career doesn't make me happy, like getting on stage makes me very happy.
Yeah.
And I like being good at it, and I like, having. I think I have a respect of a lot of my peers, and like I know I do. So like I don't,
Yeah.
not to sound like conceited, but like, so like that's a big part of my like who I am in my life is my, and I want to share that with someone all the time, and I want to make room for people in that place, but I can't just be like a partner's world, like one person's world, like
Yeah.
that's. I don't know if I can or if I just haven't met the person to do that with yet, but
Yeah.
like so far that hasn't happened. Like I need my partner to be into what they're pursuing and doing, like a lot, because like and then like we make the time for one another. We don't find it like we try to do that together because
Right.
I love being in love. Like I have some of my
Yeah.
best days are like I've ever thought of have been
No,
like
I feel like you're very like introspective and sensitive.
I think I might be. I mean I think I'm like.
Well, I feel like any artist, like any good artist should be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you should be taking it in. But I like I do want like a partner, but I don't like want to like
Not just anyone. They have to have their
that
own
shit's
thing
like
going
that's
on.
crazy to me when people like
Same.
just or like I want to have kids. I want to be a mom. It's like that's awesome. But if you just want that like with anyone, that seems insane. Like it seems like really, or with someone who fits.
I think it's hormonal.
Yeah.
I definitely think women, we feel like a hormonal, like, oh, I feel this need.
Do you have that?
I definitely, at points in my life, have been like, oh, I definitely feel like a hormonal need to be a mother at points in my life.
When you are with someone, like at different points, like whether it be Dan now or like another boyfriend from the past, when you've been very happy with them, is that when you've wanted to be like? I'm asking this because I have a question. When you felt that need much stronger.
Definitely. Like
Yeah.
I feel like Dan's really good with my dog, and I'm like, oh, I feel like he'd be a good
Yeah.
partner to create a life with. But I feel like the times I feel, I don't know, the time I feel most, I mean, I feel like when I was a kid, I was like obsessed with like being a mom to my dolls. Like that was
So you
like,
think it's just like a little in you?
I was just like always like a mom to my dolls. I feel like, I don't know. It just,
Yeah.
and I always felt like that element was part of the happiness of being like a woman in a way.
Yeah. I mean, some people take to it more naturally than others, I think. So maybe you do. The most I have ever felt that with a person or like wanting to be a father is when I've been happy with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like
you see like a family forming.
Yes. Yeah. Like my ex that I was like, I'm still very close to. We're friends.
Which is impressive.
Yeah. I have a few that I'm really still really good with. And then I have a few that are like, I think I'll never speak to them again. They don't, but whatever. But like, she was like, well, I'm not having kids. And I was like, cool. You know, and then she was like, we were texting and, cause she lived in another city and, we were messaging and I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm going to hang out with my brother and, his kids. And I was like, great. You know, like, and she sent me this picture of her holding her little nephew, like this like chunky kid. And it was really cute. And she like later we were texting, it was very, and that was not her style. Like she's like very like like nightlife person, like she works in entertainment. Like we had like she's very career driven, you know, like and liked her liked her life the way it is, you know. And then we were talking one day, and she goes, I don't know, I really do like that fat little baby I got to hold her. And I was like, oh, this is because we're doing well. You know, like, yeah. And that doesn't mean she wanted to have kids, but like, but like, you know, that's when I see it the most too.
But that's good. I mean, that's healthy. You should want it with the person that you feel like is going to.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people don't. Like, you know, like a lot of people just have kids. Yeah. Because they don't have like, their identity is that they are a mom, you know, or a dad. And that's awesome if that's what you want.
Yeah.
But I just don't think one thing of anything is enough to make a person like happy. Like you can't rest. Like I mean I comedy makes me very happy most of the time, but I need other things. I know I do. For a lot of different reasons. But like I don't, you know, like some people are just want to be moms forever. You know, and like I think that's great, but I'm like, there's nothing else. Like you have to have other things. Like even if they like other things that are actually important to you, like whether it be church or work or like a social group, like something you have to have it or a hobby. Like they need to be important to you. Like one thing is not enough to me. Like it just it doesn't seem, or at least I don't think it is.
I'm trying to find a hobby. I have to pull tarot card. I'm trying to find a hobby outside of comedy because I find like I'm always 24/7 just thinking about comedy to a point where I'm like, I know I need to find some like sense of relief outside of it just for a little bit, like something that brings me, like if it's like a yoga class or like a workout class or like.
That's what the boxing was for me. That's why I don't like. That's also why I don't share it or post it.
Yeah.
Like I don't want
to be ruined.
Well, like I don't want people to like. I know we have to give like a bit of like we're public people, so we have to give a little bit of our lives to people, and that's like fair. Like I don't like. I think my friend, well, you know Sam Evans.
Yeah.
He told me once he read somewhere that like for creative people having something that is just for you that you don't have to give to people for them to judge.
That's nice.
Yeah, is like a very healthy thing, and I think like the boxing thing is that for me a bit because I do it a lot and I really like it and it helps me. Yeah. And I don't have to talk about it like. Yeah. I mean, I'll talk about it a little bit because I just like it, but I don't want to post clips or be like, I don't want to make it a part of my public life, really.
Right.
You know, like,
right.
You know, if there's a picture of me on Instagram in a boxing gym, that's one thing. But like,
no, it's not like here I am.
Yeah, like here's me doing all this crazy. Like, that's a little.
No,
You
I
got to have something
agree.
for yourself. Like,
Yeah,
you know, like,
something that just you have a relationship to.
yes. And like, I'm trying to find other, and I tried a bunch of shit. I tried knitting and like meditating and yoga.
Yeah.
And I tried so much of other shit.
I've
And
actually I crochet. I tried crocheting again this year, but it just
it's not sitting.
the scarf did not click. Yeah.
No. So
I've
you got to,
embroidered a little bit.
yeah.
I tried cooking a little bit. I just need to find some sort of like little thing.
And I'm sure you will. Like, and it's
Yeah.
about trying to, like, that's all life is ever. But travel is like huge for that. You know, like, even if it's just going somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I like to swim sometimes.
That's good.
Yeah. Just a little like another thing like
And maybe it's a bunch of different little things that keep you sane.
I
You know?
like dogs. Like that's really what I like. Dogs.
I like dogs.
Like I love dogs.
How many dog tattoos do you have?
I just have my dog.
Oh.
I know. I actually got this.
What's his name?
Rory.
Did you name him after someone?
I named my vacuum Rory because it would go off it was like a automatic vacuum. It would go off at midnight every night. And I'd always be like, oh, it's Rory. And then I just like the name. And so I named
That
him
would
Rory.
freak me the fuck out. Oh.
Okay, so do you want to put some energy into these cards?
What does that mean?
Just like shuffle them a little bit.
Okay. Let's say
Okay,
that.
I have a
Say
couple-
that next time.
I have 2 questions for you. I know we don't have that much time left. So first,
This is fun though. Thank you for having me.
thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Okay, are you religious? Did you grow up in like church and stuff?
I grew up Catholic, but I'm not religious.
Okay. Does that freak you out? Like,
I mean, I don't. No, not like. I mean, like in a pragmatic. I mean, like you never know, but like you know, I will be like, oh Christ, like
yeah.
if something scary is happening, I'll be like, ah, gee, like I like, but
Yeah.
it's reflective. It's not like I don't think that's what faith feels like. Is like anytime you have fear,
No,
you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
So like I wouldn't say I'm religious, and I don't rule out. I don't think I'm like very spiritual either, but sometimes I feel like energy to be grateful for or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like really have a thing I subscribe to, and I don't say that to be like I don't care, but I just I don't know if there's one I believe in enough, like of a manuscript or whatever of like religion or God that I would believe in enough to give a fuck about it. Like, but I like there are bigger things than us out there, I think. But like, and I
Yeah.
don't know what that even means. But sometimes when I have a good day or like I'm at a place that's like really breathtaking, like we went on a bunch of us went on a hike and I was like very moved by it, and I felt very like this is like we were like sitting out looking over this whole fucking valley, and it was so pretty, and we were just like sitting there, and I was like just looking down at everything, and like there was like one plane going by, but it was so quiet, and I was like, this was like it was like a really wonderful, perfect day, and I was just like, man, humans really fucked up this place. Like,
Yes.
but like it just shows the fact that there's so much of it left too makes me like, so like that's what I feel. Like I don't know if that's
Yeah.
spirituality, but it definitely feels like closer to
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like
I wish I did more though. You know, like I wish I could feel, but I guess like I long for things and like I'll miss things that I'll never like my mom or my dad or people I'll never see again or whatever. So like I there's definitely a part of me that hopes that there is a thing like that, but in a practical sense, and I think that's where I live a lot of the time, I don't really believe that, you know?
yeah.
But I feel like there's big, beautiful things in the world, and that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I struggle. I feel like I'm really trying to I was raised like atheist, and
Really?
yeah, my parents are atheists, and I really want to find my spirituality because I feel like struggling a lot with like the anxiety around I go through ebbs and flows in my life of having immense anxiety about this, but recently it's just been very intense for me. I don't know if I'm just like I don't know. It's just I feel like sometimes that atheist perspective is just too much.
It's just ingrained, or like,
Well, I like it's that idea of like just if you were to take the atheist perspective and just like truly believe it, right? It's too much. It feels so overwhelming to like live with that perspective. I don't like it. Like I need to feel like there's some sort of like I don't know. I feel really overwhelmed by that idea, but I just feel like it's so ingrained in me. It's really hard for me to have like
That's what the Catholic
faith.
thing for me is like a little bit like there. Like
Yeah.
I don't really like take it in, but I have a similar like an inverted feeling of like sometimes I'm like if I'm superstitious in a lot of ways, so
Yeah.
like I think that's part of like I'll be like, oh Christ, like this is really fucking scary. Like dear
Yeah.
God, please, like if you ever get me through this, like kind of like.
Totally.
But I think that's like habitual more than it is like me really really thinking about that. But then I don't know.
I feel like it's funny because I've always felt really anxious about it. And I was writing a joke about it, and I asked in the crowd one time, like, is anyone here raised by atheists? Like, how did you feel? And this one girl, she said that she actually snuck out and got baptized when she was 15.
That's great.
And it's so funny because I remember thinking, like, oh my God, I'm going to have to figure out how to baptize myself before I die, just in case, because this shit is getting crazy out here. Like, maybe I'll do it in my sink in my bath. Like, I remember just freaking out, but I feel like obviously that's not really the train of thought that I'm having as an adult, but I'm feeling very like, I don't know, I'm definitely feeling like a draw towards, obviously not to do with tarot cards, just in general. I'm feeling like a draw towards spirituality, but I don't even know where to like, not towards organized religion though, just towards like really needing to believe.
Well, you can ground yourself in that way, like
a
you like
higher level of,
yes,
yeah.
of like I don't know if I like I don't know what to call it because it's like, but like I have that like a little bit of that like. I mean, I don't know if I believe in a bigger thing, but I've had some days that are fucking pretty close to perfect in my life, and like I really have that to be grateful for, whether it be with like someone I was in love with, or friends, or alone, or like, or in like really bleak place. But I think you like finding that is whatever those days are is good for you. Like like try and string a whole lifetime of them together. Like,
yeah. Well, I feel really grateful for a lot of things. I feel very like spiritually connected, but then I'll hear something bad happen in the world. I'm like,
yeah.
I think that's when it's really hard for me to maintain like faith in like a
big.
Well, I'm like, but then why did this terrible thing happen?
Yeah. Oh, I have that shit.
But I guess that's when your faith is tested. I guess I don't know, but
that's
anyway,
why they call it faith. Is what my mother said to me.
Yeah.
Faith is not fact.
That's what Dan told me. He's like, that's when your faith is being tested. I was like, all right.
Is Dan religious?
He's pretty spiritual. Like he's very he listens to like a lot of Ram Dass lectures and stuff. So yeah. All right. I'll pull some of those for you.
I've really shuffled these pretty good.
I know. I'm like, this is good. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull one for your past, present, and future.
Okay. We'll have to explain what's going on.
Okay.
Here.
The past is the Hierophant, which I actually haven't really ever pulled before. So I don't even know if I'm saying that word right.
The Hierophant?
The
Hierophant.
The Hierophant?
No. Oh, there's I'm not sure. It's a scary bird on a key.
Okay. The this one is the Eight of Wands is the present. All right, we're pulling some unfamiliar things here. And okay, this is good. The future is the Three of Wands. Pretty creative reading here. The wands are like creativity.
Okay.
We're gonna just we're gonna reference our handy book.
Here's the thing. I'm just gonna tell you this. I don't typically go for this kind of thing.
Oh, thank you.
But I go very like when it's positive. I'm like, yeah, I am.
Yes.
So like I don't know if these are positive, but like if they're just like, because like I feel like sometimes you like read your, your horoscope and they're like, they're a terrible lay, and I'm like, fuck.
You're like, fuck you.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so your past. This makes sense.
This is the here.
This
the
crow.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a mentor or a teacher. So in its simplest form, it represents a mentor or a teacher. This card signifies a hunger for knowledge, which whether it's in the practical or spiritual realm. You've come as far as you can on your own. Now it's the time to deepen your practice. Don't hesitate. Join a class. Go to a workshop. Don't be afraid of new experiences. A new ceremony or ritual may prove to be both comforting and rewarding. Open your heart and your teacher will soon appear. It's your past, though. I don't know. I feel like maybe...
My past?
Yeah.
Gotta open my heart?
I guess in your past, maybe... I don't know. We talked about,
Right, and from this conversation,
yeah.
I mean, I definitely have
You talked about you having a mentor,
for sure.
so I guess that's valid.
I don't know. Yeah, like I take it. Maybe I'm taking past in like a negative. Like,
What do you mean?
I'm like, oh, that's friendship's done.
Oh,
no.
no. Oh my god.
I'm pretty grim.
No, no. I mean, it doesn't have to be though. I mean,
I don't think so. Yeah,
I
I
think
know.
it's nice. Like you just put out a special with Bert,
Yeah,
so it's good.
yeah. I'm thinking. So. I'm
This
hoping
is
so.
good. It's like a friendship formed. You know, it formed in the past. Now it's still going.
Yes. I
Okay.
hope so. I want to be friends with everyone.
Yes. Okay. Then the Eight of Wands is all right. Sudden movement or change. The Eight of Wands strikes like lightning. It's a card of news, change, or clarity in an unresolved situation. You might hear from an old friend out of the blue, receive some surprising news that shifts the direction of your course. This card sometimes means literal movements on the horizon, so be ready to travel if the opportunity arises.
Wow, I am going.
All right. Maybe some
There's-
good news will come your way.
Oh God, fingy.
That's fun.
Yeah.
All right. And then the Three of Wands, which is a good card. It's about the future and it's envisioning the future. Indicates you've had continued support from others, perhaps from your parents or good friends. And with their help, you formed a sense of self or your values and morals. But now it's time to rely on yourself for guidance. Clarify your goals, cast others' needs and opinions aside. The future is infinite and it's yours. No one else can see through its layers of light and shadow. That's nice.
I think so. Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of like a journey. It's like,
I feel like these are very applicable to. I mean, I can find something to apply them to in my life at the moment.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like it applies to from our conversation. I can see it like applying to the line of your special, maybe like,
Yeah.
you know, you work through comedy and then you put out your special and you're like, now I'm flying.
I'm
Now
flying.
it's me. I'm
I'm me.
flying.
I'm flying. I know. I
Nice.
like. It's not so.
nice
I
little
get.
reading.
I think maybe I avoid these things sometimes because they freak me the fuck out.
Listen, I've pulled some crazy cards for people that have been like, I'm sorry.
So you're like a tarot reader?
Am I a tarot reader? No, I
Well,
just.
I mean,
What?
is that like a thing? Is that the right title?
A tarot reader? I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
sure.
So I'm guessing
Am I sure? I mean, I try.
you're like a hobbyist with this.
Hobbyist,
Okay,
no,
for
no.
lack of a better word.
I wouldn't
yeah.
be offended if someone said that. But I
Yeah.
think I'm familiar with a lot of the cards,
Yeah.
but not all of them.
But you've never pulled these three before?
I mean, I've pulled this one before and this one. This one I haven't in a while
Yeah.
or ever.
Okay.
But yeah, that's nice. A mentor.
The artwork's
and there's
great
some
on these.
change, and then there's you've had the help from the mentor, and now you're crushing
This
it
is like a portal into the new
into
world.
the future.
Yeah.
Shane, if you could really quickly, if you could explain your special to someone that hasn't watched it and is curious about it, what could they expect?
Full frontal male nudity. um, no. I think it's. I think a lot of people help me make something very cool, and I think if you like that, you might like it. I think it looks a bit different. I think the tone of it's a bit different. I think it's not in a theater, and it's not in the basement of a comedy club. It's in a cool, different place. Aesthetically, it looks different. I had a lot of friends do me favors for this, and
What do you mean a lot of friends do you favors?
like people, the director and the DP came in,
Okay.
and Bert and Leanne, and then like the music from it was done by friends at my request, and then
Nice.
yeah. So while it's my special, there was a lot of collaborative, creative stuff in it. So if you
That's
want to,
cool.
if you want to see what a lot of talented people getting together
Okay, what
and
about
giving
your
me their time and
jokes?
energy to.
You really need to have more. Okay, let's. You need to really just speak more positively of yourself. Be a little bit more.
I think it's the best special ever made, and everyone can suck my ass.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's
come
it's funny.
on. It's
I don't
funny.
know what to think
It's very
about.
funny.
I don't know how to toot my own horn.
You crushed the whole time. I mean, there's not a second of
I put the work in. It's
Yeah.
I think that's what I'll say. I'll see if you watch it. You're like, maybe this. No, I almost got negative again just in that moment.
No, it's very consistently crushing. All
Thank
the jokes
you.
are
Yeah.
very unique.
I put
funny.
it. It's
You
not
show yourself
lazy.
in them.
It's what I'll say. It's
No.
not a lazy piece of comedy.
The pizza joke was really I was like, that is I bet I was like, literally your pizza and grieving joke.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that's a closer.
Thank you.
I was like, I bet you close on that sometimes. No,
no,
it's really
never.
good.
No.
It got a pause break.
Yeah, it was so weird. We taped it, and then I fucked it up on the first one, and then on the second one, they came over the loudspeaker, and they were like, "Shane, you need to redo that bit," and I was like, I don't want to. Like they just, and they're like, sure, if you want Shane to do it again.
Oh
And
my
then,
God, that's so funny.
And then I wanted to keep in me messing it up and having them like,
Oh my God.
I'm all about like,
Yeah.
how weird can you make something fun and interesting? Like,
No, it was great. And the thing with the whole story with the, no spoilers, with the hobo in LA.
oh yeah,
Very fun little twists and turns there.
what did I close on in that?
Well, he's wearing your shoe.
No, not in in the special. What was the closer?
The closer was when you lived in Portland.
Oh, the stabbing.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I kept thinking like he's gonna yell out and call you a blue-eyed Mexican.
Oh,
I was like, I kept being like, all right. I was literally like,
did it leave you? Before we go, can I ask? Did it leave you like? I mean, like maybe not unfulfilled, but like a little like, well, where is like?
Where's the blue-eyed Mexican?
I was like, thank you, good night, you guys were wonderful, and you were like.
No, I mean, I kind of knew it was you because, like, even in the photo, it's like you and your blue eyes are like, you know.
Yeah.
So I did know that. I was just like, you know, and my special, the title has nothing to do with.
What's the name of yours?
It's called Shut Up, You Loved It.
I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think it has to, but I was like.
That's a really good title.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, maybe it's here. But I really don't think it. I think it's a great title. And
thank you very much. I'm just asking if you thought you were like, I'm waiting.
No.
Okay, good.
No, it was really fun.
Yeah, I think I made a really good piece of comedy, and I want people to see it. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And if you haven't checked it out, check it out. You know, I watched the first half and I listened to the second half, and it held up great both ways.
Thank you. That's great to hear. Thank you, Nat. I really appreciate you. Thank you for having me, too.
Yeah, Shane, where can people find you?
ShaneIsComedian.com is a place to find everything. Shane Torres across all the platforms. I have a podcast called No Accounting for Taste with Kyle Kinane where we discuss things people don't seem to like. And we defend them. So, like rollerblading or Disney adults or New Year's resolutions. Anything. We're trying to find the positive in things.
Disney adults are
very weird.
They're a
little strange.
They're weird.
I dated one.
Yeah. I've also made that mistake. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Peace.